old rugby field, unused and unkempt, in mouldy red socks, all sodden and wet, was Ford and his mouthguard, all ready to play. Well, that would be the case, except no one else came. He stood under the goalposts, cold and alone, wondering why he just didn't stay home. He resisted the sudden impulse to cry, wanting to escape from his sad, lonely life. For Ford had no friends, no confidence, no pals, and it seemed that his rugby team had ditched him as well. All of a sudden, as he gazed down the pitch, he spotted a lamp that was oddly lit. For this lamp had a peculiar power supply, an extension cord hanging down from the sky. Ford was amazed, as I'm sure you would be if you came across such a curious thing. He pushed it and pulled it and yanked it quite hard. He climbed it a bit, although not very far. He told his mum and his dad, his sister and more about the mysterious cable he saw, but they laughed in his face, told him he was mad, and this made Ford, understandably, sad. He collapsed on his bed, his mind lost in thought about what to do next with the strange hanging cord, when all of a sudden, in swift revelation, he knew what to do with great exultation. He searched through his house, from bottom to top, grabbing lava lamps, printers, a plant in a pot, irons, microwaves, washing machines, computers and scanners and music-y things, for what Ford had decided to do was to see how much power the cord could produce. He prepared them all under the odd hanging cable, with things that were light, all kept on a table. Once he was finished, he stood back to look, to see if the microwave was able to cook. He put in some popcorn, the buttery kind. He closed the door and he punched in the time. And just as he thought, he heard a small pop, then a pop-pop, a pip-pop, a poppity-pop. And when the microwave had finally stopped, he began to eat what was happily hot. But as he started to fill up the washing machine with beach towels and t-shirts and washcloths to clean, he gazed up the field with sneaking suspicion that someone was watching with little discretion. And sure enough, standing all on her own, was a girl, short and pretty, but weird to the bone. She began to walk towards Ford and the cord, then she jumped, and she skipped, and then rolled on the floor. Not surprisingly, Ford had never once seen such a queer and anomalous, odd human being. And when she reached Ford, she said with surprising force,
"My name is Clarissa! Now tell me yours!"
Ford stuttered and stammered and stuttered some more, before finally saying his name was
Four.
That's an odd little name.
the girl said with glee.
Are your brothers and sisters named 1, 2 and 3?
Sorry, my name's Ford, with a D.
That's still a funny name.
At least it's not Honda. Honda?
They giggled and chatted, they talked and they laughed. Ford felt he had found a best friend at last. Never before had he met such a girl. No girl ever saw him, no girl in the world. They talked about Ford and his need to escape, and their relationship quickly began to take shape. He had finally found someone who genuinely cared, even if she was loopy, kooky and weird.
It's getting late. I'm sorry, it's just...
It's just that you're afraid.
I am not.
Prove it. Climb the cord.
Clarissa had struck a nerve in poor Ford, a nerve that he quickly chose to ignore.
Coward!
As he walked down the field, microwave in hand, there was something in him he just couldn't stand. The feeling that consumed him was washed with regret. but the chance to escape had not left him yet. As he turned back to face his new destiny, nothing prepared him for what he would see. Clarissa was climbing up the cord, a sight quite depressing for poor little Ford. Then the cord started to pull up into the clouds, so Ford threw the microwave onto the ground. He ran to the lamp and tightly held on, but the lamp disconnected, and then she was gone. He stood all alone, hanging his head, sad that his fantasy had come to an end. But as he looked at the lamp, it lit up like before, gave a sliver of hope that he'd see her once more.